Good morning, garden lovers. It is Monday. I'm having coffee and I have to put it down so I can show you what's blooming gloriously today. I wish you were here. I didn't intend to make a video, but I came here in the middle of the sunny border and I got a whiff of something so beautiful smell, and then I realized it was the prostrate gardenia that is a ground cover in my dry garden bed, dry shade I mean. So let me give you a different perspective of I've talked about this bed before. It's my dry shade area, and so I have mostly dry shade tolerant plants, well mostly, but so I have 3 prostrate gardenia, and it was given to me by my mother-in-law years ago. And you don't think that these little guys would emit such beautiful scent, even though, you know, they're just small. But anyway, so the Empress Wu is blooming, and she has gotten really big. I mean, you know, not as big as she would be in a, you know, a different environment, and maybe a more healthier garden environment. This is just a dry shade under this huge oak tree, and then this guy right here, I want to say hello. Beautiful yellow contrasted with this dark veined or leaves, dark leaves, begonia. And but anyway, I just want to zip through and just do a small video just to show you what's blooming and how glorious it is. We had storm all week long last week, and we finally have a break for a couple of days, and then we'll have some more rain, which is great for me. But okay, so we're in the path, and I want to show you some of my wild or native plants that are volunteering, and I let stay because yesterday I went to a native plant rescue with our Native Plant Society, and I'll tell you about it one day. But it was my first time. It was overwhelming. It was the most happy and beautiful day of my life. So those are the 2 right there, and that one, and this brown-eyed Susan, which is, it's been there for a couple of years. That, you know, I just let him stay. And then next to the brown-eyed Susan, I planted a couple more of the Verbena bonariensis that I am trying to copy a garden, a YouTube garden, a California actually, which is the garden owner, the gardener has the same garden aesthetic or garden style as we do, me and you, which is not formal, kind of romantic, wild, lilac kind of garden. So she had a plantings on her path was almost eaten by plants, so there were Verbena bonarensis forming a sort of a tunnel. So on each side of the path, and she didn't do it either. It was just a nature's design, because Verbena bonarensis, they self-sow, and so it got really thick with the California weather, and where that part of California where she's at. So I want to duplicate that. So I slowly planted 4, 2 on each side of the path, and then one day maybe I will get that towering tunnel of purple. And also beside the brown-eyed Susan is the Fema. It's the tall pincushion flower, or scabiosa, or scabiosa, however you want to say it. And then behind it is the light colored short zinnias, along with the white ones of Veronica. So it's toning down the yellow, the harsh yellow of the wildflower. And then also the royal candles is finally blooming, and as you can see, it's taller and bigger, and I'm hoping to get another one to plant maybe over there somewhere, because he's kind of lonely. I don't know why it's giving me like a masculine vibe. And then of course the other half of that bluebeard, or Caryopteris, it's like the other half is on the other side of the limelight hydrangea. But the yellow coneflower, which is, I'm in love with it, because it's not a typical coneflower bloom, and the leaves as well is kind of strappy, and I broke one yesterday. I was so sad. But anyway, so they're gonna light up that little space right there until the limelight will bloom pretty soon. And then also, as you can see, I have lots of daylilies blooming. So that's that one right there has that it's a dark-throated one. I think I got that from my sister-in-law's previous house. And then this one is just the native orange, which is beautiful. And then the oat grasses had tripled in size, so I'm glad about that. And but most of all, this daylily, which is the oro, the purple oro. I don't know if you guys my age probably remember the Stella oro, which is a low-growing yellow, blooms all summer, and most widely used by commercial gardeners for commercial setups. So this is, I got it like 2 years ago from Lowe's, and I thought I would get another daylily. I know a lot of people don't like daylilies, but they're nice contrast, for leaf contrast for the garden, and it's blooming, and it's finally got some size. I only got 2. I think there were only 2 left. It was a late season purchase, and so I just divided it into, so I got 5 out of the 2, and the other one over there is still a little small. So, but it will get there soon enough. And so continue on. Oh, this delphiniums, one of my sale plant finds this year. They were half off. It was from a local nursery, and they lost their, or they didn't want to renew their lease for their plant stand. So they put their plants on sale, and look at that. I don't know if the camera picks up the, I can't even explain the hue of that flower. I don't know if it's navy and purple. I mean, look, there's like a navy right there, and then there's purple. It's just, I don't know if you can see it. See, this one is better. And I never imagined that I would plant a delphinium because, you know, we're super hot and humid here in the south, and, you know, we're not at all suitable in growing delphiniums, but I thought I would try since I'm home now and I can take care of them and water them and, you know, give them what it's supposed to need, and maybe it will survive. But this planter is finally getting there. The dichondrous or silver falls is falling, and look how tall it got. Exactly what I envisioned for it to do, and maybe it will get thicker as well and cover most of the pot. And the pulse gold is finally putting on some height. It was very small, if you can remember, in my previous video. And then this yarrow, I'm hoping, I'm just gonna leave it there sort of to hide that stump that I'm having a morning glory grow this year. So I put a packet of seeds in here. No, morning glory, you need to go climb up this way. I guess I'm gonna have to help it climb the stump, and I'm hoping that it would fully cover that stump and have white flowers and just be beautiful. And so I think I'm gonna do a chop on this iceberg rose because look, I defoliated it and hoping that it would fix the black spot issue, but we have so much rain, but it's also blooming, so I don't know. I am conflicted. It's having another flush, so I don't know what you guys think. But so the same thing with this bluebeard. He's having the bees are having breakfast. They're not making a noise though. They're just busy doing its thing. The bumbles. No, it's not a bumble. And they're not even scared of me. They're just busy. Busy, busy bee. So I'm happy about that. And so the other side of the sunny bed, I added this Nyphophia, which is it's called mango popsicle, and the moonlight in Paris rose is reflushing, and so happy about that. And more daylilies. Also the rose campions are dotted here and there, or reseeded here and there, and they're blooming. And The container gardens are exploding. And here's my experiment this year, which is the dahlia in the container. So this is a mystic variety, which they have, what can I say, mystical colors. One has this, which there's plenty of blooms. And then of course this one is the other plant. So I have two in there. The Lysimachia or Lysimachia, it was beautiful yellow flowers. It's getting some growth and it's draping along the sides of this beautiful pot. And then of course this moonstruck crazy tunia. How beautiful is that? And then I stuck a seed of nasturtium in there in the other pot, and well, it bloomed. So I love nasturtium. They're so easy. You just stick it in the ground and voila. And then this grass, which is red rooster, has gotten really tall. It was probably this short when I planted it, and now it's kind of like competing with the blue atlas cedar, but I'm not mad about it. So we'll see what will happen to that. But then also the other container with the honey supertunia by Proven Winners, and I don't even remember the name of this guy. This is just a generic petunia. And I still have some penstemon, which is the rose colored. The white ones are already done and I just chopped it. But then this beautiful, I hate to step in the garden, liatris or gay feather, you know, from one of those bags from Walmart or Home Depot, wherever I bought it. There were a lot of them, so I just stuck them in the ground everywhere. So they have like this tall stem and it's blooming. And here's another royal candles, also blooming. But in this side of the heart-shaped garden, remember last year I showed you the cup plant, which is a native plant. It's gotten really huge. Of course, it's a native. Some echinaceas are blooming. Echinacea bud. But look at this cup flower. It was like one stem last year, and it has gotten fat and happy. So yay for that. And then there's the other container with the geranium, which I thought they were gonna be sad about all the rain, but it's doing its thing. And then there's the echinacea, got really tall. And so let's go on this side where the butterfly garden is, and more daylilies, the thalia in the little bog garden I have is finally cleaned up from its old leaves, and the grass is getting big. And also another bush that is really giving this garden a beautiful scent is this pugster, I was gonna say lilac, a butterfly bush, and then the white gora that has gotten large, and the two leucanthemum or the daisies are kind of giving highlights to the garden. But I was mostly surprised and happy that my bread seed puppy is going to bloom. So I planted a pack, and thinking that from all the reports that I got saying that it's hard to grow poppies from seed, but hey, at least I have, even if it's just one bloom, I am happy about it. And also another bag of corms that I got from the big box store is this eryngium, and it's so interesting, this eryngium. See how the stems are blue, the flowers are blue, but when it first come up, it's all like iridescent green, and then they just turn blue. See, this one hasn't turned yet, but it's so interesting, and the contrast, it's so yummy. And then here's another gay feather or liatris, and this is even taller than everybody, so I was hoping it would be like about 5 feet tall, which is almost. And so it looks very, very happy in there. So those were the new addition early this year. And then I still have some of the Chinese forget-me-nots, that tall blue in there, and then the nigella, the dark color nigella is in there. I also planted some hardy geranium, and this one is Bukovo. It's more of a ground cover, but look how pretty, and it's also very airy, the flowers. And here's an up close and personal of the Gora, and then there's a tick seed over there, the colorful one in the middle, and then there's the other geranium, hardy geranium in there. So it should bloom pretty soon. More daylilies, and then another daylily in there. The Aquilegias didn't bloom, but they came up from seed that I put there last fall. But there was one variety. There's different varieties in there. That one that is now gone over, it was the Barlow. It's like the very dark flowered one. And then, so yeah, everything finally came up in the circle part of the butterfly garden. So all the hostas and the heucheras and the grasses, or sorry, I stepped on a wild onion. So that's that. And then there's a bird. Did you see the bird? So this is the Prairie Sun Black-Eyed Susan, and it's gotten really big. It was very small, and it was from a sale rack from Lowe's, and look how big it's got, and I am so happy about that. And this is all probably because of all the rain, so there's buds, and I can't wait to see them bloom. This is another hardy geranium. I think this is Roseanne. I'm not 100% sure. And then Roseanne actually dropped some seeds in my wheelbarrow garden with also from seed. My friend, it's funny because now I can't remember the name, nasturtium, but my friend calls it Nostradamus because she couldn't say nasturtium. But so yeah, this is my, oh, there's a weed, nasturtium bed, and this little Roseanne just volunteered to accompany them, which is pretty nice and cute. And then this one, I think this is some sort of poppy, so we shall see. And then Gallarda, I hate to step on a garden bed, so I hope you can see that. It's kind of like reddish with orange, but this Gallarda has gone really fat and happy, so let me put my shadow in there. And so this is probably the Arizona sun, something like that, Gallarda. And I'm also growing black-eyed Susan vine on the cattle panel, so I can't wait for that to grow. So this is still work in progress. This tea garden or apothecary garden, and Desdemona is reflushing. There's a bunch of buds, and she is doing so well in the ground. If you can remember, I had her in a pot, and I finally decided to put her in the ground because she got leggy. So this is a midnight rose heuchera. I don't know if you can see. See, every time I film, the sun will just come up. So this is empty right there. Sorry about my shadow. I haven't decided what to put there. So this is the phlox had doubled. All of these plants here are mostly, I mean, not mostly, all from last year. If you can remember, I created this. This was my no-dig project, and so I planted all of them last year, including that rose on the pillar, on the rose pillar. And this one also, they're all sale plants, I kid you not. And this is Candila pink. Candila in English, it's a Spanish word for candles, so translated, I guess, to pink candles. And they look so happy, even though they were, you know, little and not so happy looking when I bought them from the sale rack. And also the white daisies as well. They've tripled in size. So I'm pretty happy about all the plants in here. And this one is actually a native passion flower. And I was happy. I used to have plenty, but I'm happy that one came back because my mother-in-law really goes on and on about this, how it was their mother's favorite plant or vine. And so, you know, I'm happy to have grown that, or for it to volunteer there for her. And this is the germander, which I got it like a, you know, those herb cups that the stores, you know, they just sell the herbs in cup size containers. And look how big that's got. I'm telling you, I don't know what happened. But so yeah, and then even the ajuga that I dug up from the shade, it's gotten so big. These are the spent blooms, and they were beautiful blue, of course, when in early spring they come up. And I think this guy is a lunaria. It's a biennial, so this just volunteered. So next year, I guess it will bloom, and then we'll self-sow in this area as well. And they're good for pollinators. They're the first one to bloom in the spring. So so there's that. And then my Nepeta Nana, which is a small Nepeta, is doing its thing. Also gotten big from last year. Another cup container plant. And then this, I can't even remember. I have to find a tag about this butterfly bush. It's another, I'm not gonna say miniature, but low growing, like the pugster behind me. But it puts out, I can't talk. This year, it just shot up this, one stem of about 1.5 feet growth. So, but the contrast of the bloom with the leaves, it's beautiful. So, sorry, something happened to the camera. But anyway, I thought, like I said, to do a video before the sun really came out, and now the camera is giving me problems. So I'm gonna end it here. So I hope you guys are having a good day and happy beginning of the week. And I'll see you again soon, dear garden lovers, somewhere down the garden path. Bye.